What the was that?
Welcome in, everybody, to our inaugural edition, a standalone What the Coach Was That. This weekend in college football gave me so much fodder for this. I couldn't put it all in just one Football Takeover YouTube show. I decided to do a standalone, all by itself, What the Coach Was That, because I felt like there was not one, not two, but three coaches that we need to talk about. Well, at least three, and there are probably others, but these three were just egregious in their what the coach was that situations on Saturday. Now, one will get a little redemption sticker because of the way that he and his staff handled one part of the end of the game. But they're going to get a poo-poo sticker for the way they handled the first part of the game. We'll get to that in just a second. So I spun the wheel of what the coach was at death, and I landed on to start Jimbo Fisher, Texas A&M. So here we go with the situation. It's 26-17. Do the math for you. That's a 9-point differential. I want you to keep these words in mind right here. You have to give your players and your team the opportunity to win the game. Now, how that works is extending it in overtime, scoring twice, like whatever. But you have to know the parameters. What's the worst case? Well, taking it to overtime. Well, how do we get to overtime? Worst case, you're down 9. You need 2 scores, okay? Now, to get 2 scores, you have to have the ball how many times? Twice. So how do you get the ball twice? Well, this is where playing the clock is almost more important than playing Alabama. So Anaya Smith, touchdown is ruled that he went out of bounds at the 3. So it's going to stop the clock with 3:16 left. Now, this is where, and I'm not a big analytics guy, but this is where I would have kicked because it's a chip shot field goal. And again, I go back to I need 2 opportunities, right? So it doesn't matter which one comes first. All that matters is that I get them both. So I need 2 possessions, right? So it doesn't matter whether I kick the field goal first or score a touchdown first. Now, I can understand going for the touchdown here. I get it. I understand it. You're 3 yards away. Try to get that one first. Because in a field goal, you don't have to get all that far. You can kick the field goal and win the game a little bit later. So I kind of understand it. But again, I need the 2 possessions. So now I go for it. I make it. I'm called back for a holding. There's a false start. And it's just a mess. So it gets a 3rd down. Max Johnson goes back to pass. He is sacked. The whistle blows. Ball's at the 17-yard line. 3rd and goal. 2:52 on the clock. At this point, 3rd and goal at the 17. What are the odds of scoring that touchdown? Slim. Go kick the field goal. Now, I can understand if you didn't want to kick the field goal with 3:16 left. I mean, I understand that. I would have definitely given it some thought because, you know what? Maybe I get a Hail Mary opportunity from way back, all that a little bit later, but I at least will get my second possession, or at least I think I will. And I'll have plenty of time with 3:16 left, 3 timeouts. But if you didn't like that one, 3rd and goal from the 17. What are the odds of scoring on 3rd and goal from the 17? Not very high. Kick the field goal there. You'd have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left and all 3 timeouts, right? Wrong. Jimbo decides to, let's throw for close to the end zone. Don't get there, but get close. Get back to the 3-yard line. So now you've gone from 3:16 with 3 timeouts to about 2:11 and 3 timeouts. You've burned a minute and you're right back at the same spot. So you see why I was thinking earlier about kicking the field goal? You could have saved that minute and go play defense afterwards. And your defense is pretty good, but you didn't. Okay, I don't love it, but kick the field goal. You still got your 3 timeouts. You could stop them in their territory, get the ball back, and have a shot for that touchdown. Jimbo Fisher calls a timeout. Now, a few ways to look at this. Why is a timeout so bad? First of all, you can't call your 3 timeouts in a row and stopping them and getting the ball back with any good time on the clock after a kickoff. It forces you probably an onside kick. And what did A&M do? They onside kicked. Didn't get it. Now Alabama's got the ball at the 50. Even if you stop them at that point, you're going to get the ball deep in your territory. As opposed to, I don't know, about the 35 or 40 yard line after a punt when you stop them in their territory after a regular kickoff. Second thing, balls at the 3. This is just a lesson in timeouts. Balls at the 3. Now, I don't know exactly what was happening, why they couldn't get the field goal team out there or whatever. But don't take a timeout. It's a 21-yard field goal. He hits that in his sleep. If you take a 5-yard delay a game, it's a 26-yard field goal. He hits that in his sleep. Take the delay, get everybody out there, shoot, take as many delays as it takes to get 11 guys on the field, because it's even 2 penalties of delay a game. It's a 31-yard field goal. But I'd much rather have that than I'd rather have that situation and keep my 3 timeouts than burn a timeout and not have to onside kick. I'm screaming at my television in Atlanta. Screaming. How much does Jimbo Fisher get paid? And what is he doing now? He's not calling the plays. What's he doing? He should have been on the headphones with his clock coach, and the clock coach is talking him through everything and talking him through the end of the game. I don't know if he has one, which is A, huge mistake, and B, if he had one, he wasn't listening to him, that's for sure. Or C, his clock coach is terrible and he should be fired. Any of those are not good. So now they got onside kick, don't get the onside kick. So best case scenario to get that second possession is what? Alabama punts it, they get the ball inside their 10, and now they got to go a full field, no timeouts, and I don't know, under about 40 seconds. Completely botched. Totally. If I'm an Aggie, I'm furious. I'm furious that I'm not an Aggie. Now, let's get to coach number 2. Following the onside kick, Alabama now has the football. They run a few plays. They get to 3rd and 7, and Jalen Milroe and Jace McClellan hook up for an amazing play. McClellan, when the ball gets to him, his knee's on the ground, but he juggles it. He catches it standing up. He runs and gets a first down. Now, there's a thought that the review is going to stop the game because, well, we got to look at that. Right? So Alabama runs up to go run a play. Now, I don't disagree with that part of it. In fact, I think that's probably the right thing to do to maintain the possession at that point. But then Jalen Milroe throws the damn ball. He stops the clock. When they're looking at it, they realize, oh no, McClellan had the first down. Running up and running a play. I'm okay with that. But don't throw it. If you've worked on that situation, you got to work on both of them. And that is, hey, this is late in the game. We got to run this ball. Don't throw it. I don't care if the wide receiver's wide open. Ain't even have a guy out there. I don't care. Don't throw it. Doesn't matter because what can happen? He can drop it. The ball is short. Milroe, I mean, anything can happen at that point. Alabama, he could catch it, start running and fumble it. I mean, you're worried about the time there. Run the ball. So that stops the clock. It's now 2nd down and 10 with 1:36. Now Alabama can't run out the clock. They get it to about 6 seconds, and this is where I'll give kudos to Nick Saban because this was perfect with 6 seconds. That's enough time to scramble, throw deep, and kill the clock play. I don't know what they call it, but you get the point. Scramble, kill the clock deep, and he did it perfectly. So, Nick Saban, great job. First time, let's work on that situation. And that is, when you're running up to go take that review and you get that first down, run the ball so the clock keeps going. Now, that can be as simple as just taking a knee, too. Because at that point, with A&M out of timeouts, with 1:36 left, you could have just taken a knee. And the clock would have kept going. Now, if they stop it for review, the clock would start going after the ref blew his whistle for play. You can't throw it in that situation. You can't. And they did. So, Nick Saban, not as mad at you because you did save it. So, I get it. Jimbo Fisher. Ugh. Now, let's get, well, this one's tough. Let's get to Mario Cristobal and the Miami coaching staff, because there's a lot in this one. So Miami had taken a lead 2017. They have the ball, 3rd and 1. I think they had gotten the first down, but then it got on review. It got moved back. So it's 3rd and 1, which actually is not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. If I'm Georgia Tech, I'm like, no. Give them the first down. I can bang my timeout. We go from there. Either way, Georgia Tech's not in a great situation because they've only got one timeout. And so Miami gets the first down. Georgia Tech decides not to call timeout. So Miami burns 40 seconds. Get to 2nd and, 12, I think it was. I think it was 2nd and 12. Before 2nd down, Georgia Tech then bangs the timeout. So they didn't after the 3rd down conversion. After 1st down, they bang a timeout. There's 1:18 left in the game. Okay? So 1:18. Let's do some math here. 1:18's left. That's 78 seconds, right? 78 seconds. How can I burn 78 seconds, get out of there undefeated, and get ready for North Carolina? That's the way I have to be thinking if I'm Mario Cristobal. I'm not thinking about, can I pick up more rushing yards? Can I score a touchdown and embarrass Georgia Tech a little bit more? I don't know what they're thinking, but there's 1:18 on the clock. That's 78 seconds. Now, let's do some more math. How much time is there between plays? 40 seconds. So, after 2nd down, 40 seconds are going to run. After 3rd down, 40 more seconds are going to run. So what's 40 and 40? That's 80. Is 80 more than 78? Yes. Take a damn knee. So I don't know what happens in this timeout. I really don't. I have no idea. I mean, if I'm Georgia Tech, I'm handing my headphones off to my headphone guy. I'm getting ready to shake hands because it's over. They're just going to take 2 knees. I've done everything in the heat and humidity. We played hard, but it's an L. But Miami goes up and runs the ball. Not once, but twice on 2nd and 3rd down. Now, after they run it the first time, on the sidelines, you can see offensive line coach Alex Mirabel walk near offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson and head coach Mario Cristobal. And you can see him say, kneel. You can read his lips, kneel. They look at him, at least Cristobal doesn't do anything. They run another play on 3rd down. And lo and behold, the running back Chaney fumbles. Georgia Tech gets on it. No big deal. They're 75 yards away. But they have, again, that word or that phrase, the opportunity to now win the game. Even if it's just get down the field and get to a point where they can spike and kick a field goal and tie it and go to overtime, there's at least an opportunity to tie the game, to go win it in overtime. Not only do they do that, they win the game. They go 3 plays. First play incomplete. Second play, Haynes King hits receiver on the sideline. Third play, he goes over the top. Touchdown. Everybody's at fault in Miami because there's no way in that amount of time anybody should have gotten behind anybody at all. So defensive coordinator, horrible. Absolutely terrible. Shannon Dawson, the fact that you don't know to take a knee at that point, I know you're offensive coordinator, I get all that. And Mario Cristobal, you're in charge of all of it. You had a coach sitting there telling you what to do. You're offensive line coach. And an offensive line coach is always saying, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. The offensive line coach never says take a knee. He's telling him to take a knee. Kneel. It's over. Now, I think Alex Mirabel had seen this before, and he did, up in Oregon against Stanford in a big game. I think it was 2018. Oregon's got the win. Dead to rights. It's over. It's done. Mario Cristobal calls for them to run the ball again. Fumbles. Stanford goes down and wins the game. When are we going to learn? When are we going to learn? Coaches, when you get to 5 minutes left in any first half, okay. Second half for sure. Your headphones, on the headphones, most of you know this, there's an offense, there's a defense. You can go back and forth and you can listen to the channels, offense, defense, right? At that point, you should either take the headphones off as a head coach and find your clock guy on the sidelines and go through every situation with 5 minutes left in the game. Coach, here's the situation. Here's when you should be taking your timeouts. Save your timeouts. Don't take your timeouts here. Here's what you need to do. We're ahead, so we need to be thinking 4-minute offense. We're behind, so we need to be thinking strip the ball, get guys out of bounds. What penalties can we have that stop the clock? If we get to 2nd and 1, instead of them running another 30 seconds off the clock, give them the first down. I've seen Mike Vrabel do that. You've got to talk through those situations at that point because playing the clock is as important as playing the opponent. And if you're not calling plays, then what are you doing? You're an interested bystander at that point. Get involved in the game by knowing what the clock situations are. And I know you're sitting there going, well, John, have you ever done it? Yeah, in fact, that's what led me to start studying all this clock management stuff. Is I botched the end of a game one time because I kind of panicked, not realizing I had more time than I did. I needed to go back and learn how to manage the clock a little bit better. And then I did. And then I got out of coaching. Yeah, what are you going to do? But I'm guarantee you there are coaches that need a clock guy to be able to tell them, coach, timeout. Take the timeout here. Coach, think about this situation there. These guys get paid 80, 90, $100 million and they can't manage the clock like a 14-year-old playing Madden on a Sunday. It's got to change. So there is your inaugural edition and a standalone edition at that of What the Coach Was That. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.